I don't think I should say that word.
What the heck are you doing? Do you think people are really going to listen to you when you're wearing that?
Okay. Is this alright now? Is this okay? So maybe it's your hormones. Maybe you're like, I should try Rotal 4, but there's all this conflicting information. Maybe it's like these vegan influencers are lying to you. Like, I personally don't think that, but what could it be? Maybe you should go vegan keto. Why are you overweight as a vegan? Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's kind of going to come down to one simple truth. And no, it's not time to turn to the carnivore diet. Ultimately, losing weight comes down to calories. To understand how weight loss works, you have to understand this. Calories coming into your body has to be less than the calories going out of your body so that you can actually start to dip into those fat stores. The only way that your body is actually going to start eating away at itself is if you are consuming less energy than it needs. So like this fat right here, this stuff right here that you want gone, you have to be in a calorie deficit. So why is that so hard to achieve as a vegan, especially when there's all these people that are like super slim and like hashtag goals on a vegan diet? Girlfriend, that wasn't me. I was like 40 pounds overweight as a vegan. This is you. This is probably why you haven't been able to lose weight.
Okay, so if you look at these two meals right here, you've got like your kind of standard vegan fare. They look pretty similar. And if you're thinking like, okay, I'm eating really, really healthy, like I'm eating whole foods and I'm doing what all the YouTubers do, the thing is you could be eating a 750 or even more, you could potentially be eating 1,000-calorie meal thinking that you're eating a meal that is good for weight loss. And as you can see, these two plates are vastly different in calories. So here's another example of this similar kind of thing. On the left, you've got a meal that is, yes, very, very healthy, but 750 calories. When you think about most women are going to need in the range of like 1,500, probably to about 1,800 to lose weight. This, as one of three meals, is not going to put you in that zone, whereas the other meal for 400 calories is going to be right on track to help you lose weight. But if you didn't understand how this worked, it would be very easy to make a plate that had far too many calories. So if you have a look at this meal, why is it only 400 calories? Because it is filled with non-starchy vegetables. Basically, that's just a fancy way of saying like these really water-filled vegetables. And this is the biggest thing that I changed in my diet, is when I understood that I could eat a lot of volume. I could still eat tons of food, but I could lower the calories per bite. This meal, the reason that it is so much higher in calories, 350 calories more, is because it's got those higher calorie elements. Like, you're not really getting any more full because it's still the same amount of food on the plate. Actually, I think it was less in this example, but you've got those higher calorie foods, like a lot of fat in there with the avocado, with the hummus that has some oil in it. This could even be a higher calorie meal if you were to add oil to it. This is an example that I put on my Instagram of like a meal that I would have really regularly, about a 500 calorie lunch, with which you'd think as a couple of snacks in there for your day. This would be right on track to help you to lose weight. But most vegan influencers, most kind of vegan recipes will be adding a ton of high fat, high calorie foods like tahini. Again, not unhealthy, but it can easily turn a 500 calorie lunch into a 1,000 calorie lunch, which probably isn't going to help you lose weight.
The second biggest reason that you're probably not losing weight on a vegan diet, or you're overweight on a vegan diet, is because you're just not being honest with yourself about your consistency. So you might be doing everything right during the week and you're eating like super low calorie. For anyone who thinks that they can't lose weight eating 1,200 calories a day, maybe this is what's happening to you.
People quite often have this perception, and I definitely was there as well, that you might have to eat like 1,500 calories a day to lose weight, or that it's really, really hard for you to lose weight. So you go on these like lower calorie diets, whether that's because you're counting or you're eating a ton of salad, whatever it is, cutting your portion sizes, and you try and do that for maybe the start of the week. Look at my little Y's, by the way, look at the Y's on this graphic. This is terrible. Anyway, you get the gist. But let's say it comes on to Wednesday. If you you have a look at that chart, and Wednesday you go way over your calories for the day. And then Friday, you completely just say, stuff it for the week, I'm going to start again on Monday, and you go on a binging cycle. Well, whatever calorie deficit you did have in the beginning is now nullified because your average calories are higher than they need to be, and you're not going to be able to lose weight. You might even gain weight from this kind of cycle. In contrast, this is the kind of thing that I recommend now, and this is what I've done to lose weight. Bear in mind, like, I'm not counting calories to achieve this. I'm just eating these lower calorie density meals. I'm eating them consistently. I'm able to stick to the way that I'm eating because it's not a chore. It's not like exceptionally taxing or makes me hungry, and so that I'm able to get into this consistent calorie deficit and lose weight steadily over time. And this is really the thing that changed for me. Before, I thought that I was really healthy, but I wasn't being honest with myself about how much of this kind of binge cycle that I had, how much processed food I had in my diet. And when that changed, then I could start losing weight. Here's just a little quick example of how quickly these calories from processed foods add up. And I'm not saying they're evil. I'm not saying that you can never eat them again in your life. I'm just saying that if you are eating a lot of these, or even a very small amount, then you could be consuming thousands and thousands of calories more than you need per day. And especially if you're stuck in this kind of cycle, then it's no wonder that you're not losing weight, because you're just eating too many calories, and it's way too easy to do, unfortunately, as delicious as Ben and Jerry's is.
At the end of the day, one of these scenarios is going to apply to you. Either at the end of the day, the reason that you're not losing weight on a vegan diet, or you're overweight on a vegan diet, is because you just aren't getting into a consistent calorie deficit. Yes, hormones play a small role, although probably not in the way that you think. More to do with the food that you're eating and how that affects things like insulin and the amount of So, how can you get into a consistent calorie deficit? How do you make that work for you over time? It's going to come down to a few key things. More of this, much less of this. I've been able to lose like nearly 40 pounds on a vegan diet, eating as much food as I wanted after being like freaking confused for so many years by all the conflicting information by the gurus out there and the vegan influencers. But the thing that I changed, the key things that really worked for me, is that I started eating a lot more of this. Non-starchy vegetables. These are some weird Asian green broccolini things. That's what it's called. Man, I sound racist. I'm not, okay? I'm not. This is what I had in my fridge. I started eating a ton more non-starchy vegetables, because these are so freaking low in calories that when you eat a ton of these kind of vegetables, things like broccoli, cauliflower, capsicum, tomato, cucumber, all of these very high water content vegetables, then you're going to lower the calories per bite of the food that you're eating. Think about it this way. If you would have a baked potato and you add olive oil to that baked potato, the amount of calories from that olive oil that you've added to your baked potato, they add to the amount of calories per bite. So what you want to be able to do is actually reduce the calories per bite, because awesomely we tend to eat a consistent volume of food, a consistent weight of food. So if you can lower the calorie density, the amount of calories for the weight of the food, then you're going to be able to automatically lower your calories really easily. And people can actually double the amount of food that they're eating and lower the amount of calories by half. More sweet potatoes, more whole fruits, not smoothies, whole fruits. What happens when you eat a ton of these kind of low calorie foods is you're able to feel full on less. Oh yeah! But I didn't just start eating more of these kind of low calorie foods. I also started minimizing some of the higher calorie foods in my diet. And I was all about that cashew cream before I learned about calorie density. These are the kind of foods that I started reducing in my diet. Oil is pure fat calories. You don't need to eat it. It's not healthy for you. Even coconut oil, dried fruit. Because why would you eat this when you could eat grapes and actually feel full? This is my fancy nut container. I started eating less nut. And let me tell you, that wasn't easy in the beginning. And before you hate on me because nuts are healthy, I don't know why I did this. I apologize again. Like this isn't me. I'm Kiwi. I'm more like a sup bro kind of girl. Anyway, the reason I stopped eating so much nuts in my diet is, yeah, they're healthy, but they're also very high. They're also very high in calories. And if you're overweight by like 40 pounds, stop telling me that you need to eat tons of nuts in your diet if that's what's stopping you lose weight. Yes, they are healthy, but you don't need to eat massive quantities of them. And if you have like that dangerous visceral fat, if you are working hard to actually reduce your body fat percentage and get some perspective, the weight is more important than how many nuts you have in your diet. Things like bliss balls, which, while again not unhealthy, but very high in calories. So instead of consuming these kind of like very energy packed little foods, I started consuming more of the volume foods that could help me feel full, help me to rely on my natural hunger and fullness cues while not giving me way too many calories than I needed. There's no secret to weight loss. It's not a mystery, as much as all the gurus who have skinny teas and programs to sell you want you to believe. But you do have to be consistent, and you do have to be in a calorie deficit for the long term. The good news is that it's doable, even if you're feeling like, hey, like I've been trying to lose weight for years. It is doable, and you can eat as much food as you want. You don't have to starve yourself to get there. You just have to reduce your calories, and you can do that using calorie density. Boom! Yeah, my pants are too loose. But if you liked it and you want to subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate that, because having 100 subscribers would mean the world to me. Go follow me on IG, that's where I hang out, do some crazy stories and stuff in there, and I'd love to connect with you.
Good vibes when seasons change, but when